Parents, they did it. I know you are extremely proud of them. Please remember the great memories you made while in school, and that we will be cheering you on and wishing you the very best.
Our first student is Miss Jenna Alamad. Her favorite saying or quote is that happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. Miss Mitchell says of Jenna, she is an absolutely amazing young lady. She also happens to be an exceptional student, intelligent, well-mannered, diligent. She epitomizes what it means to be a star student. Although we may not have made the best first impression on each other, she has definitely made a lasting impression on me. Alexis Alexander, her favorite saying or quote is, when life gives you lemons, make apple juice. Her star teacher is Chief Lauren McGinnis. Alexis, I say to you, until you spread your wings, you will have no idea how far you will fly. You are more than capable of amazing things. Thank you for making NJROTC your home away from home for 3 years, and thank you for reminding me each and every day why I love my career. Our next student is Mr. Matthew Harris. His favorite saying or quote is, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you're actually left them. His star teacher is Mr. Aiden Gamero. I will always remember his positive attitude and respectful manner, but overall, I will remember Matt's great sense of humor. I really believe Matt has a great future ahead of him. I look forward to hearing what direction he decides to take in the years to come. Next student is Mr. Evan Boone. I'm truly grateful to have Miss Ulrich as a teacher of my senior year and wish her the best. Of Evan, Miss Ulrich says, he's a resilient, respectful, and patient student who is motivated and organized to accomplish tasks needed to succeed. He consistently makes logical choices to work studiously and frequently show his capability to articulate ideas to help support his peers solve homework problems. Our next student is Miss Caitlin Daffrin. Her favorite quote is from Oscar Wilde, you can never be overdressed or overeducated. She says of her star teacher, I chose him because he has not only impacted my education but my life as well. He believes in me at times when I don't even believe in myself. Of Caitlin, Mr. Davis says, she's extremely excited about life. She keeps me on my toes and is a big encourager with her classmates. Our next student is Mr. Ty Eckert. His favorite saying is from Yoda, do or do not, there is no try. Of Ty, Mr. Pirtle says he's moldable, teachable, and just plain fun to have in class. Thank you, Ty, and congratulations. Next student is Miss Caitlin Edsel. Her favorite saying or quote is, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Mr. Robinson says of Caitlin, she's an individual who is dependable, dedicated, hardworking, and displays the important competitive spirit of a high school student. Our next student is Miss Marissa Francis. Her favorite saying or quote is, not to us, O Lord, not to us, but to your name goes all the glory. Of Marissa, Miss Keener says, I've never known a young lady so convicted and so strong in her faith. She will never beat me in a game of slug bug, but she will certainly win the game of life. She's focused, committed, and she is able. Our next student is Miss Hannah Harris. Her favorite saying or quote is, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. About Hannah, Mr. Webster says, Hannah was always a quiet student, but stood out with her desires to be the best she could at everything. When I reach the age of 170 years, I'll still remember the smile, confident attitude, and determination that Hannah has. Our next student is Mr. Dominic Ibanez. His favorite saying or quote is, every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. About Dominic, Mr. Vera says, I really loved how Dominic embraced Red Oak High School with his dedication to cross country, soccer, and of course academics. Dominic will be missed. He's a remarkable young man, and I know he will set the world on fire. Our next star student is Mr. Jonathan Labrum. His favorite saying or quote is, failure is not an option. I have the right stuff. Of Jonathan, Mr. Rogers says, his efforts on the robotic team has brought the team to excellence. It is my privilege to have been a part of Jonathan's life. I have no doubt that he will bring about tremendous solutions to the problems facing mankind. Next is Miss Jessica Lee. Her favorite saying or quote, the little things matter in life. About Jessica, Coach Sutton says, she was one of the hardest working people I have ever had the pleasure of being around. She not only made excellent grades, but she also played multiple sports and held down a job. I know that this work ethic will take her far in life and that she will be successful in whatever she puts her mind to. Our next star student is Mr. Cody Martin. His favorite quote or saying is from one of my favorite movies, Talladega Nights. If you're not first, you're last. Miss Guerrero says of Cody, focused, knowledgeable, logical, methodical, motivated, punctual, thorough. I could go on and on. I'm completely blessed to have instructed Cody and have faith that his future will be nothing short of amazing. Our next student, Mr. Arlis Martinez. His favorite saying or quote, success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. Mr. Howell says of Arlis, he was always willing to help others that didn't understand, which just deepened his understanding. He is also a fierce hacky-sack player. Our next star student is Mr. Garrett McCord. His favorite saying or quote is, it's not the strength of your faith, but the object of your faith that actually saves you. Ms. Thomas says of Garrett, his ambitious work ethic has been contagious to everyone around him, including myself. His strong Christian faith has helped shape him into a young man who exemplifies hard work and success. Our next student is Chloe Munoz. Her favorite saying or quote is, people in their right minds never take pride in their talents. About Chloe, Mr. Moss says, she is one of the most gifted students I've had the privilege to teach. Her humility and her willingness to share her gifts and talents so freely with other people is what makes her so special. Our next student is Mr. Kyler Murphy. His favorite saying or quote is, I can't believe that God put us on this earth to be ordinary. Miss Martin says of him, I first met Kyler his 7th grade year. I have so much respect for Kyler and the way he handles his diabetes. He never complained and handled his situation with maturity and responsibility. Our next star student is Mr. Ethan Nichols. His favorite saying or quote, turn your wounds into wisdom. I had the pleasure of teaching Ethan in his 7th grade science class at Red Oak Junior High School. From the first day of class, Ethan impressed me with his perceptive, sharp, and quick personality. Ethan has a combination of a positive attitude and the belief that he can always improve that is rare and yet essential to continuous learning. Our next star student is Miss Alyssa Peavyhouse. Her favorite saying is, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him and He will make you straight in your paths. Of Alyssa, Miss Blakely says, I had no idea what a tenacious young lady she was until I attended the first Lady Hawk volleyball home game. However, I soon realized that she employs that same pertinacity and spirit in her academic endeavors as well as all areas of her life. Our next star student is Miss Ashlyn Pritchett. Her favorite saying or quote, any pizza is a personal pizza with enough will and determination. That's pretty good. Miss Comer says about Ashlyn, no matter how many plates you put on Ashlyn's table, she always finds a way to gracefully juggle them. Ashlyn has a wonderful way about her in which she shows an immense amount of maturity for her age, yet keeps her childlike humor and faith in the world. Our next star student is Miss Carolyn Segura. Her favorite saying or quote is, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. About Carolina, Miss Graves says, when I first met her, she was a very limited English speaker. As important that learning was to her, it was equally important to her that she was a good friend and role model for others. I knew when she walked into Red Oak Elementary with those big brown eyes that she was going to be someone very special. She will definitely always be someone very special to me. Our next student is Mr. Benjamin Stanfield. His favorite saying or quote is, God is never too far away. Amen. About Benjamin Stanfield, Miss Barnes says, what always stood out to me about Benjamin is how he could work with any group I put him with. His eyes would light up when discovering something new, and he was never afraid to try anything new in the GT classroom. Our next student is Miss Alyssa Tucker. Her favorite saying or quote, I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. About Alyssa, Miss Sheets says, somehow Alyssa carefully balances her academics, being an officer in drill team and having a job, and applying for colleges. Watch out, world, because Alyssa is going to go far. Our next student is Mr. Noah Vaughn. His favorite saying or quote is, to live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all. About Noah, Miss Crane says, I first met Noah sitting behind him 4 years ago in the pew at our church when we were first visiting. Since then, I've gotten to see Noah grow into someone who is passionate about changing the world. He is a leader both in his church and in his school, and it has been a pleasure getting to know and teach him these past 2 years. And finally, Miss Samantha Woolley. Her favorite saying or quote is, I am a part of everything that I have read. About Samantha, Miss Jones says, Samantha embodies both an imaginative and inquisitive spirit that allows her to flow with ease in different arenas. She exhibits a maturity that far exceeds her age and is as comfortable working with a supervisor at her workplace or talking with one of her peers at school. It truly is special to me when you get to share an evening like this and you hear over and over again all the reasons that as teachers we chose this profession, why we stick with it, and why we love your kids. And we thank you again so much. I can't tell you this enough. With all the choices out there you have for your education, thank you for choosing us and allowing us to be a part of the blessing that we can share with your children. So thank you so much.